Adrian, so brilliant to catch up with you. I should explain to the people watching that Adrian has been at the King's Arms as DJ for a long time now, way before I started there, but we kind of connected on Facebook and we haven't actually had a proper chat face to face, as it were. I know this is, over the internet, so it's different, but
this is so exciting though. Just to actually speak to you, because it's kind of always just been messages on Facebook and usually me messaging you about problems with the kit at the King's Arms. But I've always been kind of really keen to come and see you on like a Friday or a Saturday night, but I'm usually like just super busy doing something else. So we're almost like, weeks apart, like at the King's Arms, kind of, following each other. But it's really nice just to kind of hear you speak.
I know, it's so good to connect and chat properly, because we have, like I say, we've been doing it, via Facebook. But we've got so much in common. But you're a photographer, so you've been doing a brilliant vlog, which I have to say I'm going to put all the details down below, because I'm hooked. Every week I'm there. I've got a cup of tea and I watch your vlog, and it's so relatable as well, because there's so much in common that we've got. Obviously, we're both DJs and we're both into the same kind of music, and it's great to see you at gigs and you're out with your partner and having a meal and the social stuff you don't normally see. I mean, you see snapshots of it on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, but it's nice to have you introducing it all and talking about it.
I'm going to try and keep it up for sure. And thank you. I'm very flattered and humbled that somebody is watching it.
You were saying to me just before we started recording, you're not exactly sure where it's going to go, but I think that's the beauty of vlogging, isn't it?
I think it is. I think for me, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I watch a lot of kind of lifestyle vlogs, and I'm super kind of nosy and interested in other people's lives, but I never sort of see people like me, really. And I kind of felt like, as a gay man of a certain age, I had something to say. I wasn't sure what it was, or if anybody would be interested in watching it and hearing it. But I watch a lot of style vlogs, but I don't see men my age. I watch a lot of, stuff about people doing creative stuff, but it's middle-aged women, and I'm kind of totally hooked on those vlogs, and I have a list I watch, and also stuff like you do, because I'm really interested in what you do. And like you say, we have similar tastes in music and films, but I just thought I've got something to say, but I'm still not entirely sure what my voice is going to be with it. And I think it's great to kind of show people what I do. I like, obviously, going out to gigs and stuff like that it's kind of nice to film stuff like that. But I really want to kind of think about it in terms of my work a little bit more, which is not always easy, because I don't necessarily do a lot of work that is vloggable. It's kind of a work in progress for sure, but I think that I've got something to say, and I'm slowly kind of finding my voice with it, I guess, is the sort of cheesy way to put it. But
and I think the behind the scenes stuff of the work that you do is totally vloggable as well.
I would really like to do more of that, and I would really like to talk about my work a lot more, because it is definitely, one of the fundamental parts of my life. But it's not always sort of practical to vlog it, which is unfortunate. But I am thinking along the lines of like tying more of my work into it, to be honest, because I think there's an interest there for people, to see the kind of workings of a sort of London photographer out and about doing what we do. I still just like vlogging my dinner as well. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you've got to do that, because I mean, I love food. We all love food. I was going to say that I think you have a lot of confidence as well. You might not necessarily think that or feel that when you're filming, because I think it's quite a bold thing to do, and I think it's kind of overlooked how when you're filming you've got to take into consideration like people around you, especially if you're out and you're filming outside like I was earlier. I'm quite conscious of people watching what I'm doing, but somebody told me once that if you're vlogging, you should always remember that people don't really care. They're just kind of interested for a split second, and then they look away and they carry on with their lives. Absolutely. So I try and think about that, but it's quite a brave thing to do. I mean, I love your shots of you at the King's Arms, obviously where I DJ as well. I've never actually done that so much where I've just pointed the camera and filmed myself DJing. It's always other people that I'm filming, which I prefer to do. And you as a photographer, I guess you can kind of relate to that as well, where you're not the subject necessarily.
In terms of like filming out and about, I totally get that as well. And I get self-conscious sometimes. And a lot of what I do, if I'm doing pieces to camera, it's usually sort of on dead streets where there's nobody around. But I do film a little bit, and I am getting a little bit bolder at that. And I absolutely agree. I don't think people are that interested. I think also in a place like London, who isn't vlogging? Everybody's vlogging. Everybody's talking into their phone, filming themselves or filming their surroundings. So I think in a place like London, it's a lot easier to, and I feel a lot less self-conscious. But I think it's that's probably part of the photographer in me as well. Yeah, just sort of recording stuff is just what I do on a day-to-day basis, So I don't find that too difficult. But I get looks sometimes. I do sort of remember where I am and what I'm doing at certain times and think, I'm going to stop now. But I kind of enjoy it. I kind of enjoy that as much more than talking to the camera. I like, again, probably because I'm a photographer, but I really like, recording like what I'm doing and where I am, and it's part of being somebody who works with image, I suppose. You're always kind of taking in what's around you, and like I said before, I'm like really nosy, which is why I got into watching other people's vlogs, because I'm just really interested in other people's lives, and
it's human nature, isn't it? I think people are naturally, very inquisitive about what other people are doing, and also you compare yourself to other people as well, especially if you're in the same kind of work. It's like not a competition thing as such, but I think it's quite nice to see what other people are doing and just to get inspired by them as well.
I've always been that person as well. I try not to get involved in this idea of, we are competing against each other. I think, and sometimes I have felt like that in the past about my work, especially sort of stuff that I do with me, and not so much the DJing stuff, but I have sort of the creative stuff. I have felt like sometimes, it's easy to fall into that idea of looking at what other people are doing and thinking, that you're doing something better or they're doing something better, and feeling kind of weird about that. But I really try not to sort of fall into that anymore. And funnily enough, it was kind of why I reached out to you initially, because we were sort of, like I say, we were kind of like rubbing along beside each other, but not really. We'd never met and we never spoke, and we might occasionally like something of each other's on Instagram, but I just thought, I really just want to kind of make a connection rather than having this kind of weird kind of parallel kind of story, but not actually engaging with each other. And I think that's really interesting and really important, and I'm so happy I've done it, because it's brought us to this point, which I think is really great,
I love that. And maybe when we're out, we might see each other, or maybe arrange to meet up and actually do a vlog together. That might be quite good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I quite enjoy that. So do you know what your week is like? And are you thinking, in your mindset, are you thinking this is going to be vloggable stuff that I'm doing? Or do you tailor it to your vlog diary?
I think I'm just literally, I mean, the nature of my work means I never know what I'm doing from one week to the next. I'm kind of in a bit of a pattern at the moment where I tend to work more towards the end of the week. So I have a lot of time at the beginning of the week to do other stuff. I'm not sort of consciously at the moment, I'm going to go out and vlog a walk in the park today. It is really just, I'm doing what I do. And I think that's kind of the challenge of it, really, is, at first when I thought about doing it, I thought, right, this is going to make me get up every day, put something smart on, wash my face and vlog something. But actually, life isn't like that. And I'm really just finding that I'm just recording the stuff that happens as it happens, if you know what I mean. Because, I don't think, I have thought about, right, I'm going to talk about this, or I want to kind of engage people in a conversation about a particular thing. But other than that, no, it's been very kind of random, and just, this is where the week takes me. And often when I start at the beginning, I say, I don't know what, it's Monday, I don't know where I'm going this week or what what I'm going to be doing, but come along and let's see what happens.
And that makes it more interesting, I think, as a viewer, doesn't it? Because you don't know where it's going.
That's the reality of my life at the minute. You know, as a freelance photographer, I don't really. The only constant I have is the DJing, really, because, you know, as you know, we're kind of booked ahead of time. So that's the only thing I always know I'm doing when that's happening. And at the moment, that's really busy. But for, you know, lots of the time, I'm not doing so much of that. I'm doing other stuff, you know.
Well, please continue it. It's so good to chat about it, and hopefully we'll get to meet physically.
I hope so, yes, absolutely. We need to make that happen.
So do you want to tell everybody about your channel? And we'll obviously drop the link as well below, but where can people find you on social media?
Brilliant. It's The Bad Photographer on YouTube, and it's, just a random look at my life from more or less week to week, possibly with breaks in between. And then I'm on Instagram as @Adrian Lourie, and also I have Meet, which is Meetzine, which is my sort of DJing, publishing empire from my back bedroom.
Amazing. Yeah, and you've done such an amazing job with that, and that's been running for years as well, hasn't it, Meet?
Yeah, absolutely. And continues as we speak.
Yes, fabulous. Oh, it's so good to see you, Adrian, and thank you so much for chatting to me, and see you at the King's Arms.